Hey, this is Bret the Hitman Hart, the best there is, best there was, and the best there ever will be. And you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
What's up, everybody? It's the Rewind. The intro got interrupted by the dog. Oh man, this is off to
all these people.
Off to a fantastic start already. Listen, you guys, it's the Rewind. It's that weekly show that me and RN do, where we just cover all the stuff happening inside and outside the ring in professional wrestling. I'm your host, Kyle Tyson.
Oh, yeah, that's my part. Sorry. This is Mr. 8984. I'm a little distracted because this fucking puppy won't shut the fuck up. Well, of course you wait till we start recording.
Yeah, dude, right as the intro finished, the dog is the one who introduced the show. And then, of course, we're joined by a good friend from the host, one half of the host of Perched on the Top Rope, former dirt sheet writer, and he likes to remind you, spoiler-free is the way to be. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lee Walker.
Woo, woo, woo. You know it.
What's up, man? Did I get your catchphrase right?
Amen.
100%.
Lee, how you been, man?
Oh, man, I am fine and dandy. And yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll, and I'm ready to see what the Rewind is all about.
All right, man. Listen, it's honestly just about me and RN bullshitting for an hour and creating content out of that. There is a little bit of structure. I'll go ahead and run you guys down some of the stuff we might touch on tonight. Let me refer to my whiteboard. We got the NXT cuts. I'm posing the question with all of the people released in NXT and the state of that show. Is it even worth getting invested in? We'll discuss that later on. The TNT title being hot-shotted. As of recently, we'll discuss whether or not we're a fan of the belt bouncing back and forth between hands so frequently. We got Ryback and Disco Inferno causing, honestly, just being dickheads on Twitter, and I just figured we'd mention it. Beyond that, Backlash's main event has changed. The Inspiration retire. Joey Janela and other AEW stars have not re-signed with the company. Randy Orton has celebrated 20 years with the company. Sammy Guevara may have been injured in that ladder match on AEW. And lastly, Bret Hart reportedly has signed with WWE.
Got to give the people what they
Before
want.
we even get the show started, Zomslayer123 has followed Twitch. Thank you, Zomslayer, for following the show. Man, I love it when Excalibur just screams in my ear every time we get a new follower. If y'all want to make me go deaf, get all your friends, tell them to come over to twitch.tv/SmackedRaw, where we record the show live every Sunday at 9 p.m. Tell them to follow the show. Excalibur will just scream his head off in my ears, and they'll bleed and I'll hurt. If you ever miss a live show, we always put this up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/SmackedRawPodcast. And then you can find the audio versions everywhere podcasts are found. I think that's all the shit I plug. Do I plug anything else, RN?
No, we good. We do the Patreon at the end.
Yeah. We got a Patreon if y'all want to give us some money. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Really quick, before we get started, hey, Lee, your first time on the Rewind, man. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, the show that you like to do. Honestly, just help fill the airwaves a little bit.
So, as you know, the nickname is former dirt sheet writer. I used to write for Ringside News, Sportskeeda, The Sportster, and The Richest, and Daily DDT, fan-sided. Decided to go out on my own with my podcast, Perched on the Top Rope. You can find us anywhere and everywhere podcasts are found, interviewing top talent, currently in Impact, MLW. That was lovely. Thank you. And yeah, I'm just a huge wrestling fan. And as you can see, maybe, for you listening on the podcast, you can't see this, but I'm a huge toy nerd.
How many figurines do you think you have behind you, man?
So actually behind me, I calculated last night for a full set of the 94 Hasbros. I'm missing 13 loose. I have the full American set. I have the original release of the Hasbro Series 1 5 and up, currently chasing the 5 and up dual language original release dual language cards. That's a mouthful. So yeah, I got a lot.
I'm definitely gonna hook you up with my buddy James. Like he collects too. Like he literally has almost a room and a half in his house dedicated to just wrestling figures. That doesn't even count like his comic book action figures, G.I. Joe, shit like that. Like literally just wrestling figures. He has a whole room and a half dedicated to.
Nice, man. Oh, really quick before I forget, Smacked Raw. We recently, had another show join our brand that we're super stoked about. Botch Spots and Chair Shots. You guys, listen. Will has been working overtime. He has been crushing a ton of interviews. So I kind of was a little bit misleading when I first started talking about the show coming on, like it was any ordinary podcast. Yes, Will does have a podcast with him and Bobby, which is a fantastic listen to. But also, Will has been scoring interview after interview after interview. If there's any reason to come over to our YouTube channel, is to check out all these wonderful interviews Will has been doing with a lot of independent talent. I believe
he's working.
One of the he's doing like 4 shows a day at this point. It's insane the work ethic this kid does. It's hard enough for me to scrape my ass here for like 2 hours one night a week, so make sure to show Will some love. Check out those interviews. I think one of his most recent ones, he had RN, help me out. He had this entire group. I got him confused. Or Alison.
I can't remember. Come on, man. You know it's me, bro.
Allison.
I can barely keep up with our shit.
Help me out in the chat, Allison. I know you're there. Who was the group he just had? Takeover. That's right. That was confused me. I remember because, it's like the NXT pay-per-views. But yeah, he just had Takeover on. Awesome listen. Check out our YouTube channel to catch that out, man. It's fantastic. I wanted to show him some love. And then also, I don't know if it's official yet. They might have Buff Bagwell coming on soon, too. We're still crossing our fingers on that one. Have Buff bring the stuff to Smack Raw brand.
They have definitely I don't want to say we weren't legit, but Will and Alison have definitely put the old spit shine on Smack Raw brand since they've been here.
Hell yeah. Will's in there getting some additional plugs in. So Shane Taylor's going to be on there. And Buff Bagwell is confirmed.
Confirmed. Let's go.
If Will is ready to drop a date in the chat, I will let you guys know when you can tune in for that. But yeah, show some love to our to one of the new shows on the channel, man. It's fantastic shit. All right, man. Hey, Lee, you're the guest on the show, man. What wrestling do you keep up with?
As of late,
none. As of this week,
none
at all. I catch Raw a little bit. I catch obviously I catch Dynamite. I 100% try to make sure I catch Dynamite. Impact is kind of hard. It's usually when I'm recording, and SmackDown I catch while at work, but it's more background noise because I'm working, I'm dispatching, so I don't get to really. I catch what I catch. My schedule has changed for the summer, so I'll actually be watching a lot of wrestling because I'll be done by 3 p.m., 4 p.m. So I'll catch a lot now.
Sweet deal, man. Well, hey, listen, listen, there's no shame in having SmackDown as background noise as of late. That's exactly what it deserves to be, is right. Background noise. SmackDown has been ass lately, if you ask me.
So let's go. What are we talking about? Let's go.
All right. Well, fuck, man. I'm waiting for people to jump in and just start ad-libbing here with me, all right? Come on. God damn it. I don't always have to lead the show so much.
I want to get to these fucking NXT cuts.
All right, yeah, we'll kick it off, man. That's been like the big headline of the week is the NXT cuts. So if you guys aren't aware, it was just a couple days ago, I think like 2 or 3 nights ago. NXT released, I believe, 9 wrestlers. Some of the more notable names: Dexter Lumis, Malcolm Bivens, and Tegan Knox. I'll have the full list up here in a second. Dakota Kai, not Tegan Knox. Excuse me. She got released a while back. My fault. Oddly enough, RN, did you hear that Bivens and Kai? It was actually essentially their choice, man. They chose not to re-sign.
That did surprise me. That's why some of my anger about Bivens went out once I saw that. But I mean, Dynamite was literally one of the only reasons why I watched NXT, and I've been fucking shouting about Malcolm Bivens for how many years? Probably since the entire time I've been on this show, and he finally gets a shot, and he's gone within fucking 6 months. So.
So look, I got the complete list here. This is thanks to Fightful.com. We got I'm gonna butcher some of these names. Jesus Christ. Paige, Prince of Ali, Sanjana George, Draco Anthony, Harland, Persia Parada, Raylan Devine, Mila Milani, and then of course, as I mentioned, Dexter Loomis, Malcolm Bivens.
And half those people were still on fucking TV.
Dude, that's the crazy thing is these people are like mid-story. So granted, Harland was just pulled a couple weeks ago. We just had Persia Parada has been doing like the whole sex off thing, I think.
Yeah,
opposite of
Index and shit.
Index. Harland, like I said, he was off for a couple weeks. In Dexter, part of fucking Index, man. Like, been hearing some rumblings that, obviously the writers and some refs, obviously annoyed to downright unhappy that, these stories have got to be changed literally on the fly now.
Right.
But dude, the bigger question for you guys is with the downgrade that we've seen. I mean, in my opinion, I'm not going to lie to you guys. NXT just seems like in a downward spiral. It's hemorrhaging its viewers. The story, in my opinion.
But I just want to cut you off because that's coming from an AEW guy, and that's not exactly true. They've been stuck around the 600,000 mark literally the past like 5 to 6 months, and they're consistently there. And from what the people that they report on things like that with the network's actually happy with what they're doing and how steady they are compared to some of their other shows on the network. So that's that's an AEW fan perception, but I do agree that it's not what we thought it was going to be, and it is actually now what it was always intended to be, which is fucking developmental.
Right. Okay. So in my defense, how about this? Yeah, you're right. I kind of said that wrong. I'm seeing less and less praise on the internet for NXT. Okay, that's what I mean. I'm seeing less flattering things being said about the product. And then not to mention, I mean, in light of all the cuts that we're getting in WWE,
but also there hasn't been bad either, because I think people are finally, like I said, like me, coming around to it. The fact that it's not, these are people that have, some of these people never wrestled fucking before ever. Some of them had limited indie experience. So it's like, it took me a long time to like just watch that NXT black and gold out of my mouth and just understand that it kind of is what it is. So I think everybody's really like finally letting it sink in that we're not going to get these 5-star classic matches we got at takeovers. It's going to be some bumps and bruises. And like I said, it finally is what I thought Vince and them wanted it to become before Triple H took it over, which is literally how they train these gymnasts and football players and athletes to become professional wrestlers.
So I'll pose the question to you guys. Given the uncertainty of the show and the way it's gone, is it worth really investing in? Is it really worth your weekly time to tune in and get into these characters and stories?
Go ahead, Lee.
I have not watched NXT 2.0 since it's basically the debut of it. I watched the debut show. I said, absolutely fucking not, and have not watched since. Why? Because if I'm a firm believer in, if the product continues to suck and suck and suck and suck compared to what I'm used to with, black and gold, Die Hard.
Same.
If it's going to continue to suck, why do I want to piss myself off week after week after week and watch something that's going to annoy the shit out of me? And that's how I feel it is.
Let me take this one, Kyle. Let me take this one.
Yeah, you got it.
Lee, I wholeheartedly fucking agree with everything you just said. And I was at that point for a while. Like, I refused to watch it. Let's just put it like this. At one point, Kyle had watched NXT more than I had. And I don't think Kyle had watched NXT more than
never watch NXT
3 times in the fucking past calendar year before we started doing the rewind. And he watched it more than me. But BamaDave, kayfabe Bama as always, he explained it to me in a way that I just refused to look at it as. And once I did flip the switch on that and just pick out what I liked from it, it made it a lot easier to watch because I knew what I was looking for. And this is the main thing. All the people that they're putting over on NXT right now, we know that Vince and fucking trash ass Bruce and all those fucking yes men that gargle Vince's balls, they all like these people. No, I'm serious. They like these people, right? Because this is their show now, right? So now we at least know that the further I take, this is what I take away from it. And what I take away with just kind of, this is my way to swallow this pill. Well, at least we know when these fuckers get called up to NXT, called up to Raw and SmackDown, they probably won't have to change their names because they already got WWE eyes. And we know they'll actually get a push and be used. Maybe not correctly because, I mean, WWE doesn't have a good track record, but at least we know that the people from Raw and SmackDown will know who these people are when they get called up finally. So that's why I've been taking it as the glass half full method. So I still don't watch it religiously, and I got to go back most fucking days. Like I watch it on like Friday morning or some shit sometimes, or whenever they finally decide to put it on the cock. But you just got to pick what you like from it and keep it moving.
All right, I'm gonna have to. Maybe I'll watch this Tuesday.
No, you won't. Shut up.
Yeah, this is a good one to watch, honestly. And I will give them this too. Like the takeover shows, like of course they don't feel like takeover, but the like weekly pay-per-view things, like they do feel bigger and they do kind of have some sort of gravity. Definitely not as much as like when it was a black and gold, but it does. The shows do at least feel different, even though they're coming on Tuesday like a normal NXT. So I will give them that. At least give them that tip of the hat, I guess.
So you watched obviously more than me. One of the surprising names that was released was Harlan, because he seemed poised for a big monster push at some point, and then just seemed to have the ball dropped right out the gate.
Those people were all gone though. That signed him that we thought was going to give him the big push. Remember?
Yeah,
that was part of Triple H's regime.
Well, I guess what's being reported, and I'm terrible when I say this because I never write down my fucking sources. I'm just regurgitating the shit that I hear on YouTube. But is WWE said that Harlan wasn't developing in the ring. RN, you watched NXT more than I do. Was he really ass in the ring? Like,
I don't even remember that many matches from him. Honestly, like most of the time he was what's his name, backup, like on the outside. Like I remember maybe 1 or 2 matches, but I mean, to me, no, there isn't anybody that's like fucking 5-star in the ring there, except for maybe, I mean, singles wise, except for maybe like Carmelo or like Ciampa. I don't know those guys, older guys from the
Ciampa ain't there anymore. He's officially in Raw now.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's nobody like top flight in the fucking ring to me on that show. And even Carmelo's a little iffy sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So like that to me, that's I think there's way shittier wrestlers that they have on TV than Garland was. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think he ever really got a full chance to be anything. Is my take on it.
I kind of wish he had that image that he had a really good look like that he put out on social media, and then when they unveiled him in the fucking
Brock Lesnar Jr.
And they roll him out in the goddamn tattered up jumpsuit, bald head. It was dead on the rival for me, man, with him. But It's just weird. It's weird to hear like any reports on why they release him outside of budget cuts. So to hear that like instead of just the classic, oh, it's budget cuts, it was like, look, this guy's not doing well in the ring. It kind of raised an eyebrow of mine, and I almost wonder if it's like to help sabotage, hopefully like no one else scoops him up and turns him into a star.
No, I was literally just about to say that. For once, we are finally fuck all that. Anytime you hear something bad, and it's all supposed to be budget cuts, get the fuck out of here. Like I think that was a like kind of like black and give him a black eye on the way out the fucking room. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Because again, all of these people were none of the new regime's people that are cut. So we can't really like be surprised. I mean, we were shocked because half of them are on fucking TV 10 minutes or more every fucking week, including Bivens, you know what I'm saying, and Index. But besides that, like they're making it pretty clear they're clearing out all of Triple H's recruits. I mean, they've pretty much showed us that
him. They are scrubbing his name out of that.
And they're getting the Chris Benoit treatment. Shit.
God damn, that's dark.
I mean, let's be honest with Harlan or Parker. They literally compared him to be the next Brock Lesnar. How do you expect him to become the next Brock Lesnar when you shave his head and make him look like Uncle Festus in Michael Myers' jumpsuit?
Facts.
How do you expect him to get over?
Right.
Was he bad in the ring? Is he bad in the ring? I don't know. I've never seen the man train. I just know he was a pretty good football player in college. We've seen many football players be extremely successful in professional wrestling, from Lex Luger, Ron Simmons, you name it, they're there. Happy Corbin. Yeah, exactly. The Rock, Happy Corbin. You know, there's tons of them out there. You know, so to hear that, no, that means that kid needs to push harder and harder and harder, grow that hair back, become a Scott Steiner genetic freak, do your thing on the independent scene. In a few years, WWE is going to be calling and you're going to want more money.
Right.
End of.
Because like I said, to me, it just goes back to all those things you said are truly, but again, the people that were saying that are no longer with the company at all, or no longer a part of NXT, which to me, I always thought of him as Triple H's like pet secret project that he was ready. I thought he was ready to bring him out, but then all that shit happened when him got sick. Because remember, right before Hunter had all those conditions stuff, like that's when we started getting that push from Harlan on social media, and then finally like showing actual pictures of him and shit, and him in his gear and stuff and all that. And then Triple H got sick and went down, and then all that shit pretty much disappeared.
Fucking audience, like a captivated audience member. Like Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, that's on. Like I said, I just think it all boils down to them scrubbing Triple H's influence on NXT.
Yeah,
I was gonna say just before, because Noob Redeemed, he says a lot of people are interested in some of those women who posted on Twitter and Instagram. Noob, if you can elaborate just a little bit, but it's a little vague, and you probably dropped that when it was more relevant, but I definitely missed.
Oh, Dakota Kai is going to be a fucking star somewhere. Like I don't get that. But again, I guess you said that she asked for a release. So
yeah,
I guess
her and Malcolm. Well, they didn't ask for their release. They just made it known that, hey, look, they're not going to
re-sign.
Yeah,
okay.
when these contracts are up, that's up. And Dakota Kai, from what I was able to piece together, could have been let go a while ago. But yeah, so like, because she won the tag titles.
Yeah,
they beat help me out, RN.
It was Toxic Attraction.
Toxic Attraction, yeah, and then just lost it like right back to them.
Yeah,
and then she's been off TV ever since. Speaking of hot-shotting titles, man, that TNT title, which was at one point being compared as like a second world title in AEW, has been going back and forth pretty frequently between Scorpio Sky and Sammy Guevara. This has kind of drawn some controversy. No, I wouldn't say controversy. Strong opinions either way. Like, some people hate it; they think it's devaluing the title. Personally speaking, I like not knowing where a title's going. Right. What do you guys think? Are you guys happy to see titles bounce around a little bit more frequently, or do you want to try and like intact the prestige? Prestigious. Go
ahead, Lee.
Coming from the golden era of wrestling over here, I'm a big fan of lengthy runs. Secondary titles and things like that, like the hardcore title when they had the 24/7 rules, your current 24/7 championship. To me, I always like that also. This is a young company still, just a couple years old. Shooting a title back and forth. If you're fucking angry about it, what the hell? There's something wrong with you to be angry about it. They're giving us great matches. They're giving us good storylines going along with these great matches. If the title is flopping back and forth, hey, it's fine for now. You know you're going to get a lengthy run out of somebody, you would hope, but in today's day and age of wrestling, we don't have the attention span for someone to have a 4 or 5 month run. People are crying that Roman Reigns, his year run has been too long. He only defends it on pay-per-views. It's fine. It's being defended. It's on TV every week. Roman's on TV every week. The TNT Championship is on TV every week. The champion is on TV every week. What can you fucking complain about? Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
There you go.
Facts. I mean, I totally agree. Like, my thing was like, I think I would feel different about it if it was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 different dudes that had it in the last like month or so. But the fact that it's being traded back and forth in a long-term feud, like, I don't, again, like, what the fuck are you mad about? Like, I mean, and they've had different types of matches. They've had different things going on. Like, it's been long-term storytelling that people complain about all the time that doesn't supposedly exist. But then when you get it, you bitch and moan and complain about it the whole time. And like you said, with the I'm all for it. Like, me personally, especially with the secondary titles, I don't necessarily like the long title runs because I think the secondary titles, depending on the company and the position of the title, should be used to boost up the next guy into the main event. So, like, I don't mind 4 or 5 minutes runs and then passing on to the next person. But when you got a whole ass feud that's going on, and with 2 dudes that are fucking lights out and giving us banger matches every single time, who gives a fuck if it's going back and forth between them 2 when you already know that you're going to get another match with them that's going to be fire? And you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's just like AEW people, like, you can't win with them. It's never good enough. Like, just shut the fuck up and enjoy. Like, and go with it. Just be quiet and chill. Like, y'all will be okay.
Well, I like those aspects of it too. And then, but on the other side of the things too is pretty much all the other titles feel fairly predictable at this point. Like, you have a kind of like a semi good idea of the path that world title's going to take. You know, we know it's on Adam Paige right now, and then we know it's sometime in the near future it's probably going to go to Cole. It was probably going to wind up on CM Punk at some point soon, and along with MJF. And then kind of like the women's titles as well, you know, that they feel somewhat predictable. So it's nice to have, like, in my opinion, a title that could change hands. It's like, right, you got to tune in when you hear a TNT title, man. You might see a new champion. And then, not to mention, to me, like, that's the point of it too. It's supposed to be like the TV championship in WCW. Like, the shit was on it was defended every fucking Nitro, and every once in a while we got a surprise champ out of it. Like, that's I thought that was the whole point of the TNT title. Oh my god. You guys.
What?
I think I just found the kickstand of my Nintendo Switch that's been missing for like 9 months. Sweet. Sorry. Yeah, man. I mean, people are going to complain. That's just the natural order of things. People are going to complain. I think it's fine, man. I think it's fine. Apparently, Sammy may have gotten hurt, though, man, doing that crazy. Yeah. Did you see the spot? God knows, dude. Oh, shit. I just realized. Bama just pointed out to me that it totally says I'm playing video games right now. Anyways. Sammy does like a corkscrew, like 630 double rotation, and just gets dumped on this dude. Gets dumped on his head from the top of the ladder, man. You guys, are these guys taking too big of risks? Like, are we getting too reckless in the ring?
No, that's what these guys do. And, like, don't put them in a ladder match then. Like, what the fuck do you expect when you put a dude like Sammy Guevara and Scorpio Sky, 2 of the biggest high flyers in the last 5 years, and Scorpio the last 10 years? What the hell do you think they're going to do if you put a fucking ladder in the ring with them? We ain't playing shoots and ladders. Somebody's going through one of them motherfuckers, or at least off the top of one.
God, dude, this spot was scary as fuck, man.
It was scary, but at the same time, these are the matches that these 2 are having that are going to help elevate them into the main event scene at some point.
And elevate the title.
Yeah. You know, it's flipping and flopping, and that's fine. I would say certain spots you can save for pay-per-views, but these guys, want to go out there and give 100%, I'm for one not going to complain about that.
Right.
You remember hearing about the competitive nature back in like SmackDown and then like the Attitude Era? Like, you know, not only were they fighting WCW, they were fighting each other for spots.
Yeah.
Wrestling was popping off. You know,
and I think that's the part too, like, especially for a young guy like Sammy, who's been pretty much at the top or mid top of the card the entire time. Like, why would he take off the brakes now? Like, he's, you know what I'm saying? And he's transitioning to a heel and all that shit. Like, why would he take his foot off the pedal? Like, it's time for him to go. And my thing is, like, when people were saying, like, it's messing with the prestige of the title, like, the fucking title's only, what, a year old? Like, and then, like, it's got a long lineage. Like, Cody had it for 90% of the time the fucking title's been there. So it's like, relax. Like, it'll be okay. And like I said, these dudes, I think they're elevating the title, making it worth something, especially Sammy. Like, he's an original A1 day one. And you know what I'm saying? Like, he puts his body on the line for the fucking title. So it's like, what is there to be mad about?
well, some people would say that it's taking away the importance of the moves, you know, that should be reserved for pay-per-view slots and maybe the longevity of their career. What would you guys to say with to people that have those thoughts?
That's not our decision to make. It's the booker and then the performers doing that shit. Like, don't put a ladder match on TV and think that it's not going to be spots in it. Like, that's the whole point of a ladder match. It's a spot match. So, I mean, what do y'all want from anybody, from the performers or the bookers? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, to me, it's just always something to complain about in wrestling. Like, just fuck off. Like, come on, man.
I totally baited RN into that one.
I mean, here's what I would tell you. If you're a newer fan of professional wrestling, go back and watch a ladder match from anywhere in the early 90s. There's no big spots except for a suplex that's not like at the top of the ladder. Right. And Shawn Michaels in a ladder match versus Razor does a dive, but he's like on the middle of the ladder. Compared to like ladder matches that you see in today, if you had to watch a ladder match from yesteryear, not knowing what yesteryear wrestling was like, you'd probably be pretty pissed off that you didn't get to see what you would see from a fucking pay-per-view.
Right.
I'm not going to apologize about swearing on this show.
No, we cuss all the time. It's all good.
So that's how I see it. And again, if they want to go out there and do those moves and give 100% the way that they're given, I'm not going to complain. You know, listen to the crowd when they have those matches. You know, they can still perform those matches in those type of maneuvers on pay-per-views and still get the same pop. Mm-hmm. It's whereas the fans get greedy and just expect it every time. That's where we're the greedy ones. The wrestlers aren't in the wrong. We're in the wrong. If they want to do those moves, that's fine, but we shouldn't expect it all the time. We're the ones who end up in the wrong in this situation. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Honestly, this is where it really comes into, because there's pro wrestling and then there's sports entertainment, and there's room for both. You can have a heavy psychology filled match and be thoroughly entertained, and that's fine. And then you can also have a demolition derby car crash of a match, and that's fine. It's okay to be entertained by either style. It's variety. And that's the thing about it is pro wrestling has always been about variety. Sometimes when you put something under a magnifying glass and you try to identify it, you don't see all the other variables around it that can play and attribute to it as well. You're trying to focus only on this one thing when there's so much more to it that you can like, and then you can also not like. It's fine. But yeah, that's kind of where I was trying to lead this to, is like, you know, is there an argument for like the wrestler's health? Yeah, there is. But like RN said, that's up to them, man. That's up to them. Yeah. If they, by this point, there's so much medical evidence out there by now, you'd have to be pretty silly to like not acknowledge it. But if you're well educated on the risks that you're taking and you say, hey, you know what? That's what I'm going to let my legacy be. That's up to you, man. That's completely up to you to go ahead and go with that, you know? Real Ravage Dragon's in the chat. He says, hola. What's up, Ravage?
What's up, man?
Yeah, man. Speaking of going from this ladder match and the potential injuries that Sammy may have occurred to some even more damaging. Honestly, I don't know actually how much more damage could be done to these guys' legacies. Ryback and in Disco Inferno, heat magnets of social media. What the fuck is going on with these guys? Like,
before we get started, I will say I have met Disco Inferno a couple times at a gentleman establishment that he works at, and he's honestly not that bad of a guy. Like, so sometimes when he does shit and says stuff like, I don't know how serious I can take it, because I've met him on more than one occasion. I had conversations with him.
Yeah.
So but Ryback, I don't know. Ryback just seems like a bitter old bitch. Like that's just how I look at Ryback.
Dude, he seems fucking mental.
Yeah, like, and you never know, like, what the fuck? Like, and sometimes he says shit. It's like Bray Wyatt on crack or something, like just talking out his ass. Like, what does that even mean?
So Disco Inferno came under scrutiny because I think he saw like a Japanese wrestling clip, like women's Japanese wrestling match. And he like sarcastically posted like that these are supposed to be great wrestlers because they were doing some heavy choreographed section of their match that also included the referee who almost appeared to be like dancing with them. Right. And yeah, just like the internet caved in on this guy. You know what? And big deal. You know what I mean? So what? Ryback's was fucking scorched earth, man.
it was like, what?
Jesus Christ. So I got the tweet here.
Please read that.
Fucking hell, dude. Vince McMahon, like most promoters, has an insatiable urge to have control. By the way, this is Ryback's quote. None of these are my words. He had no control watching his mom get beat up as a child, which is a horrendous thing for a kid to witness. As their whore mom tries to make ends meet, Vince has failed to evolve. Fuck you, old man. Winky emoji. Bro. Like, dude, I don't even know like how do you go like to type that out and tweet it and just be like, that's well thought out. For one, like, dude, who wants to work with you? Like anybody that's gonna do like any type of social media background check, I'd fail to think that anybody would want to do business with that man. Yeah, granted, like I got people in here saying clout chaser. Yeah, like Braun Strowman. Dude, Braun is poking like the trolls. This man's going after a recently deceased mother. There's a difference. Right. You know what I mean? It's one thing to poke at the Twitter crowd because let's be honest, man. Twitter and Reddit and stuff, they are not an accurate representation of our culture. It's not. Yeah. So to poke at, people like on those things, whatever. But like, bro, like you fucking bring up a man's recently deceased mother. I just don't know how anyone would even want to do business with this man. It's fucking nuts to me, dude. Not to mention Vince probably got the money, dude. He'd make him disappear. I would imagine he could do that shit. Anything to add, Lee?
Go ahead, Lee.
This fucking horrible tweet.
All right, so I'll start with Disco and then I'll share a Ryback story. I've never met Disco. I've actually always wanted to interview him because I was a fan of him in WCW. I mean, he's a former 2-time TV champ, and a former cruiserweight champ in WCW. So I was always a fan, actually. However, with this clip that he watched, he's one of those wrestlers who's seemingly stuck in his generation and voices that. Mm-hmm. New generation doesn't like that. Just like we see with anything of young people versus old people. You're out of touch, old man. You don't get it, man. Right. That's what this is. That's all it is. That's all that is with Disco. Because Disco even pointed out, because Lance Storm attacked him, Kenny Omega attacked him. He's been attacked by Cody Rhodes in the past. Saying he never drew. The man did.
Cody Rhodes went scorched earth on him. It was a thing of beauty. Cody.
Yeah, he did draw though. I was a huge fan of Disco.
And he was a booker.
Yeah, So he's really just it's really just one of those young versus old type things. And I get that there's wrestlers from his generation that have adapted with the times. Not every person adapts with the times, and this is just one of those examples. Now, as far as Ryback, man, what a fucking bipolar nut job this motherfucker is.
That's what he's like. Gotta have issues.
Like, this tweet clearly came before him taking his meds. It's gotta be. I've met Ryback actually. When I had met him, I had some figures signed, and I'd let him know because I had worked for bodybuilding.com and wanted to like do an interview, but more promoting his supplement line and stuff like that. Of course, I didn't realize, for whatever reason, he had already had my podcast blocked when we talked. I don't know why either, by the way. So he followed me on Twitter, sent me a DM. I followed back. We had set up times and dates and everything like that. And then just like out of nowhere, just unfollowed me and completely ghosted the whole fucking thing. So I was just like scratching my head, and I was like, dude, like, you agreed everything was like all set in stone, and like, what in the blue fuck? And then I was like, I don't know what brought this on, but okay. I something kind of told me it should be a long shot, but like when he DM'd and was like answering like really fast and things like that, I was like, oh wow, okay. He doesn't really do interviews or anything, and
right.
I'd let him know that I don't like judge, I don't ask gotcha questions type deal, like. And plus, I was going to promote a supplement line in the interview, which I was like, that's what I did with WWE producer Tyson Kidd. That's how I did. That's how I booked that, was more for the supplement line. But for whatever reason, he decided to ghost, and now I don't give a fuck.
Listen, I'm over here chuckling because my Twitch mod pulled up a comment Bama made, and it's like, this comment's being held for racially insensitive terms being used. I was like, what the fuck, Bama? And he says, and all he said was, I'll still take disco over honky tonk, man. And it was holding it for honky.
The worst word in human history.
Jesus Christ. Thank you, Twitch. Playing is safe. Okay. Alison says she thought Bama had cussed because it held his comment for a moment there till I permitted it. Fucking sakes. Dude, yeah, I mean, the only thing that comes to mind is dude, Ryback's got to be troubled. Like, he's got to be troubled, man. That's not a fucking sane thing. Like,
this isn't like his first time tweeting shit like this. He's been doing this
right.
For years.
He's literally now tweeting at Elon Musk to get Twitter to fix his account because he's constantly complaining that they're messing like with his like SEO SMO type stuff, to like where his tweets can't be promoted and like can't get the reach that they're supposed to be getting based on like his amount of followers and things like that.
Which honestly, he might actually be right about that. He's not the only person I've heard make those complaints, and they're not nutbags like him. So he might actually be on to something on that one.
Yeah, Twitter might be on to have an algorithm of Twitter's pretty interesting, who likes to shine a light on and dim the light on.
He might be in some aspect getting the raw end of the deal with Twitter, but then when you see a tweet like that,
like this, you get why.
Do you really think he's getting the raw end of the deal?
Yeah, no.
They're probably like, yo, keep him low because like, listen to this hate that this man is spewing, like this ain't right type deal, and then there's the people, well, free speech. I would say free speech does have a limit, and there is some form of online harassment that you can be arrested for. And
right.
Yeah, no, Ryback is essentially, I think, like who everyone thinks wants to be whenever like Twitter goes officially under Elon. They think that like we're just it's gonna be all Rybacks online at that point. I don't know. Like, that's just kind of been the gist for it. Like how some people have described it to me. I don't have a dog in this race, but yeah, I was just seeing that, and I thought it was comical. They're just like, oh yeah, all the hate stuff is gonna come out of nowhere, and I was like, is it? But That's
Elon
neither
Musk
here
doesn't
nor
seem
there.
like that type of person. I just don't see it being the Wild Wild West
I don't.
when he officially takes over. I just don't see that happening.
We'll have to wait and see, man. We'll just wait and see. They'll make another Twitter. You know, that's what I'm saying. Who
Right.
say they won't make another social platform?
Exactly.
Man, it's fucking Ryback's crazy. Let's see here. Some minor stuff that doesn't really need too much insight. I'll just get pick your guys' brain. Inspiration, former Iconics officially retired, released their statement with Impact. They are done wrestling. 90% of me, yeah, this is legit and, you know, good on them. It's pro wrestling, though, so there's always going to be a little tinge like, is it a work, though? You know what I mean? Like, it's
a work shoot. I think they are. I think that everything just finally caught up to them. And I think, like Bama had said in the chat, like, I don't think they've been home in a long time and shit like that. So we'll see what happens. But right. They'll definitely come back.
Sorry, man. It just pulled up, please.
Is this the animal disrespect our show fucking episode? Like, Jesus.
You guys lock the door, man. Fucking hell. Holy shit. Any audio listeners, the camera just panned over to Lee and the cat had jumped on his desk and his mic just went MIA. I'm sorry.
Everyone enjoys that. I hope everyone enjoys the freaking scared look on my face. I had no idea he was even around.
Yo, the camera panned to you just at the perfect time, man. Oh, that's fantastic. Sorry, RN. Work shoot, buddy.
No, I was done. Yeah, it's a work shoot. Like they'll be back. They probably just need to fucking recharge their batteries and shit and kind of regroup from all the getting cut stuff and everything, all that stuff. But yeah, they'll definitely be back.
What do you think, Lee?
Okay, having worked with these lovely ladies, I brought them into Albany and I brought them to New York City for the big event. They had really, really expressed the idea of wanting to get into acting. So that's really what more of this is going to be about. Will they be back? I cannot confirm nor deny that, but when I had spoken to them the first night in New York City, I did ask if they would ever do like an independent show. You know, something that's outside of your big shows like Impact, Ring of Honor, AEW, WWE, things like that. And it was a very quick no. So they are gone.
Yeah,
I'm 100%. They are done. They're done. Will they be back? Yes. Will it be anytime soon? No. And I think that if they do come back into wrestling, the only way it happens is going to be WWE. I think that they liked their time in Impact, but I don't think it was what they were used to as far as having been part of something much larger being WWE.
Right. And that was I always got the big fish, too tiny pond with them. And that's what I said. Like, I think they'll take some time off, recharge, and probably come back either AEW or maybe back WWE now that they're actually kind of putting some sort of emphasis on the women's tag titles. Maybe they can go back there. But yeah, I just never, even when they first came to Impact, like it just seemed so like, and I watched their first match and everything, like it was just so out of place and so like it just felt like they didn't fit from the beginning.
I think like Impact, their Will's mentioning how it felt really rushed, like how quickly they obtained the Impact knockout championships, and Impact probably just wanted to capitalize. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just capitalize on.
They were smarter.
Yeah, because that was a really big get for them. You remember when they were let go. You know, I think people have chilled a little bit. I think even AEW fans, myself included, are when people get released, and they've kind of chilled on like they need to go to AEW because even we're realizing like, look, we got a lot of people over here. Like, we need to start doing stuff with the people that we got. But when the Iconics were released, that was like the number one thing. I mean, of course, Impact was a huge viable option because of just how well they use their women's division. But a lot of people were calling for them to go to AEW to add legitimacy to their division. Yeah. You know, they were big, man. They were really, really big when they were let go. And yeah, so I imagine Impact wanted just to capitalize on like, yeah, we snatched somebody up before AEW could, you know. And
Right.
I feel like that's part of the reason. And yeah, it may have been a little bit short-sighted. I agree with Bama saying that a longer chase would have been nice. Listen to me pretend like I actually watched the show. But yeah, I think they'll be back. Like, no one ever really is done with professional wrestling. You know, like that's kind of the thing. Like, it's hard to come up with any names that have just they left and stayed gone unless they were not like a professional wrestler at heart. You know, like some athletes come through and they're like, oh yeah, no, this is bullshit.
Wise.
Huh?
Or like life-threatening injury-wise.
Yeah. I mean, even then, now we're seeing them come back, like fucking Edge and Daniel Bryan, and Jesus Christ. From what it sounds like, Paige is due to return any time now. Apparently, she's been removed from the injured reserve list, or I forget how they phrased it, but like she could pop up. Like apparently, she's cleared to wrestle again, which is nuts. Yeah. I bet they'll be back at some point down the road. I wonder if we're going to see any Netflix rom-coms with them, though. You think so?
That would be dope. I'd be into that.
I bet they'd be hilarious. They have great timing, dude. Okay, cool. That's all I'm going to get out of that one. All right. You guys see that they changed the main event to Backlash?
No, well, they're
Oh yeah, terrible.
This is fucking god awful. Okay, so this is from SmackDown. So you RN, what if I'm really like, don't leave me hanging here, RN. What has been the biggest drawing match of Backlash going into it? The most intriguing match.
Fuck, I don't even know now. Caught me off guard, shit.
The title unifications.
Is that a thing?
The tag title unifications. Yeah.
RK Bro and the Usos.
Shut the.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go, RN. Thank you, man.
I never watched SmackDown, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
Fucking shit. Yeah. So that's been the match being advertised. That's what we're doing. That's the whole motivation. Apparently it's off the table now. And not only is it off the table, it is like idiotically how it's been removed has been crazy. So on SmackDown, Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, who initially is the one who told the Usos to go gather those titles, go get those titles, bring them to the Bloodline. We need to unify those titles. Well, he got disrespected by Drew McIntyre. So they go to Adam Pearce. I think it was Paul Heyman. Go to Adam Pearce and say, listen, you need to change the main event from the tag titles to a 6-man tag. Otherwise, I'm going to tell the board of directors because you didn't book Roman on the show. And then they removed the stipulation. So they changed the tag title unification match to a 6-man tag and then removed the unification. And I've lost all hype. That was my selling point, personally speaking, of the fucking pay-per-view or premium live event.
So maybe they're telling us that there's probably not going to be any more unifications, and eventually Roman's going to lose one of the belts.
Maybe, man. Yeah, that would have been dope, though. Fucking 6 belts across those 3 guys, man. At least get one picture, you know?
Right. I don't know. Like, I would have been hyped for it too, because I mean, let's be honest, they would have fucking tore the house down in that match. But my thing is like, I'm not for the unification shit. If we're still doing the stupid ass brand split, like I don't like only what would it be 4 dudes carrying all the belts for the entire company. Like it makes no sense to me. Just end the fucking brand split and let's just go back to how it used to be. I mean, you barely have a roster anyway, so now would be the time to do it and make it most feasible. But as long as we're having a brand split, like it should be their own separate titles. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people hate that idea, but if you have 2 separate shows, it should be a champs on each show. Like maybe we don't need the cross-pollination shit that always pisses off Matt Ritter. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like it should be separate shows, separate championships, and we shouldn't have any type of back and forth until fucking Survivor Series.
All right. I'm going to need to get a mod on Twitch because I need a mod to go ahead and just put Bama in timeout for like 2 minutes. This motherfucker quote said, let it play out. Dude, find a different fucking phrase. I never want to hear let it play out again in my fucking life. Okay?
This is when it's supposed to play out in WrestleMania Backlash.
Yes, it was supposed to play out at WrestleMania or at least by fucking Backlash. Find a different phrase, Bama. Say the same thing. Listen, I'm not hating on you, Bama, for having faith in the story, although I think you put way too much faith in the stories. But goddamn it, find a different phrase. It feels ugly, that phrase. God damn it. Let it play out.
It feels like you're saying, fuck you guys.
Yeah, man. Fuck it off, man. Jesus Christ.
So SmackDown was pre-taped.
Yeah, it was. It was pre-taped.
And it was in Albany, New York. Just a few hours away shy of me. My correspondent, Justin, was there. And so I knew last week that this match had changed. I was pissed when I found out.
Bro,
Pissed. Wow. I'm cool with the unifications. I'm cool with it to an extent. But when you advertise Drew versus Roman, you advertise RK Bro versus the Usos, the title unification, then you change it. I mean, and the way that it was changed was just asinizing, let's be honest. And when they changed the match, there was no mention that any titles are on the line. So unless that becomes a thing, the only thing I can think of is that they're going to stretch this out till SummerSlam.
Right.
And that these matches take place at SummerSlam instead.
Yeah, I can
but if
see
they
that.
but if they change it again, what my cat did to my mic is what I'm going to do. Just saying.
I just hate that why do they have to be involved with everything? Like, just let Roman do his thing because, like, especially if you're not unifying the titles, to keep their asses on SmackDown and just stay there and like let Roman be on SmackDown until you need to pull him over to Raw. Like if you're running with Drew, leave him on there with Drew. Then when you find somebody on Raw for him to do, just like they used to do back in the day, like they don't have to be on every fucking show every fucking week. Like just like I don't know. I hate the cross-pollination shit when it means nothing. Like now this means nothing. Like what is the point of this? What is RKO and Drew aren't friends? They're not like they ain't got shit going on. Like what is the reason for them to team up? There isn't one. If the titles and shit aren't involved, so
this is like a match you have on SmackDown. Let's be honest. Right. This is like a match you have on TV. Not a premium live event. I hate that fucking term.
Oh,
I hate that.
It's weird. You know what? Now that you say like it's at SummerSlam, I might not be too angry because I'm going to SummerSlam this year. I'm actually really stoked on that.
Yes, yeah. There you go.
I'm not maybe I'm not as mad now. This is actually going to be my first pay-per-view I've ever gone to.
Nice.
To be fair, I've only been to 2 televised shows and then like 2 house shows. So I went to the original Starrcade, not the 80s Starrcade obviously, but the first Starrcade that they did when they brought it back that did not get a network special. And then I went to like a live event when I was a kid, and then I went to the SmackDown where Roman got dog food poured on his head. Yeah, everybody loved that in the live crowd. And then to Fight for the Fallen, AEW.
I was actually at the Starrcade that they did the special for. That was the first show I ever took my daughter to.
Yeah, man, they were fun, dude. I'm stoked for a pay-per-view. This will be my first time being in like, dude. Not only will this be my first pay-per-view, this will be my first time ever being in a NFL stadium. I've never even been in a stadium before, bro. It's going to be in Nashville at the Titan Stadium. It's the Nissan Coliseum, I think it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it should be pretty dope. But still, fuck them, dude, for changing the fucking match last second. God damn, that's so stupid. I guess a couple small things now. All that we got left, dude. See, we tackled the good shit early, and then I leave behind like the stinkers that we'll be lucky to get 45 seconds out of. Hey, look, congrats to Randy Orton, I guess. Celebrated 20 years with WWE. Yes. Really quick, on the spot, out of 20 years of wrestling matches, what's your guys' favorite Randy Orton match?
Oh, go ahead, Lee.
Just 20 years of footage, Lee. Pull one match.
God. I was a big fan with him and Mick Foley, to be honest. As he brought him up. You'll never forget the iconic face that Randy Orton has when he like slams into the Tex for the first time. They had good storytelling. It reminded me of some like old school, like Jake the Snake Roberts psychological stuff between the two of them, and it was really enjoyable. So I'd have to go with that. Their street fight that they had.
Mine's Undertaker versus Triple H, Unforgiven, 2004.
What?
Triple H versus Randy Orton, Unforgiven, 2004.
Oh, you said Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely said Undertaker.
Triple H versus Randy Orton.
Triple H and Randy Orton? Shit, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the greatest wrestling match of all time at Backlash last year. No, I fuck that. I ain't doing that shit. Damn it, Lee. I agree with you. It's the Cactus Jack match for me too, man. That was his culmination, dude. That was Randy Orton's coming out party. That was paying his dues, everything. He went from
getting the stamp of approval.
Yeah, man. He went from Bob Orton's boy to Randy Orton, Legend Killer, man. That match. Mm-hmm. Noob says Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes in 2007. Yeah, that was a great match, man. That was their only match that year. Fuck. No, actually, I kind of think I know what match he's talking about. I'm trying to remember it too now.
And the match with him and Cena unifying the titles, that's an underrated match.
Yeah, that's the one where Cena was handcuffed to the ropes and he undid the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
And then he climbed the ladder and Randy pulled the ropes. And it pulled Cena off. He was supposed to go through the table, but instead he kind of like got dumped on his head on the bottom of the table. Yeah, you're right. I remember that match. That was like when I was like first coming out of like my dark period where I had stopped watching wrestling. Yeah. That was like fresh into that, like my comeback into watching pro wrestling, man. Yeah, that was really good. I think that was the last time, dude, when they were. I think that was the last title unification one that they did where, and they
I think it was too.
Yeah, and just like Roman, he rocked 2 belts for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
a god awful fucking spinner one and then the world title.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Dude, how did we wind up with that spinner belt for 8 years?
Like even after fucking Cena, that's my thing. Like if they just pulled it out when he was champ, I'd understand, but they kept that design for a long fucking time.
It had to be for toys, right? Lee, am I right on this? Like, it had to be for toys.
I honestly have no idea. All I can think of, it was like one of those belts that were made and they were like, yo, Vince was like, this is expensive. We're using it.
Right. Keep using that shit.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Edge got a spinner belt. The Miz, they made Miz a spinner belt, but his, stayed in place.
Yeah, locked it upside down. That was actually, that was pretty neat.
I'm sure toy purposes was another big reason because John Cena was John Cena and John Cena appeals to kids because, I mean, John Cena was the Fruity Pebbles of the professional wrestling world. So,
and Need for Speed was hot, and you could mod cars and put spinners on cars, man. That was the hot thing to do, man.
Yeah, that was Pimp My Ride. Every fucking car had a set of spinners on it.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Real Ravage Dragons, which is such an underrated name. That's so good. I love that name. He says favorite RKO. I'm gonna I'll go first. I have to use up the Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 1.
Fuck, that was gonna be mine.
Yeah, sorry, bro. I'm getting to it first.
I guess it'll be the Evan Bourne one. I mean, that was the one that set it off.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm sure you're waiting for mine, and I'm just going to say self-high five.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
He's right.
I'm sorry.
Bama's right there with you, though. Bama.
There were so many different variations that Diamond Dallas Page did with the Diamond Cutter. You guys get a little spectacle of an RKO and you're like, ah! No. Go to YouTube, DDP Diamond Cutter tribute. That's all you need to watch, and it will completely change your mind.
I stopped fucking with DDP though because he tried to sue Jay-Z and Rockefeller for using the Diamond Cutter sign. So after that, I had to draw a line in the sand, and I chose Jay-Z over DDP.
but I will say Diamond Cutter over RKO. If I had to pick a favorite RKO, it's 100% the one with Evan Airborne.
Right.
I love they God bless the cameraman cutting to Orton too, because like when you see the other angle, Randy Orton literally got like 6 inches off the mat. Like he literally just got up, but the way they cut that camera to it alludes to like Randy Orton hit a full on RKO.
Yeah, and didn't they just have him do one recent again where he was like laying on the ground?
He got one of the Usos.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, he got one of the Usos mid-splash.
And I think they did the same thing too with Gable. I think he caught Cable one too.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. The one with Gable. It was very similar with Bourne because it was like a moonsault. You did like a moonsault or something and caught him.
That's something like that. Yeah.
Oh, that shit was hot, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so like those ones are cool. Like he did one with a power bomb that was awesome. I remember the top rope style type one like DDP has done. I'm sorry, but DDP has just done more and better variations. Not to make this a verse thing, but
no, I will say I saw a clip of DDP. Now, obviously, I didn't see it live, and I don't remember who it was too. But he put a guy up for the Dominator, and he did a Dominator, but turned it into a Diamond Cutter. I thought that was really hot.
I don't even think they're the same moves, honestly, because a lot of Randy's were one-handed, and DDP got you with both hands. Like to me, I never put them against each other because I don't think that they're the same move. I mean, that's just my take on it.
You know, there's one where DDP had the guy in the Razor's Edge and similar like the Dominator, flopped him over and got it. Just like with Randy with the RKO, he's done it from a power bomb position. He's done it from the middle rope. He's done it from the top rope. You know, he's hit all sorts of different variations, just like EC3 with that TKO where he's got him on the shoulders and then spin him and hits it.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're all great, you know.
RN, the real Ravish Dragon, agrees with you. He says he doesn't believe they're the same move either.
No,
they're done different.
I never did.
Yeah, I mean, of course, they're all derivative of the cutter, you know.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good, man. It's good. Marie, you know, we can't have Marie in the chat and not at least acknowledge some NJPW stuff. Tama Tonga won the, I want to say, never open weight title.
What?
Yeah, he won a belt, man, and Marie wants us to send him his flowers.
Yes, finally. He deserved it a long time ago.
Yeah, man.
I never liked his in-ring style, but just to me, he's one of those people that are just so good and such a complete package that he never gets what he deserves as far as like flowers, as far as recognition, because he's always been in a fucking tag team. But just how he riles up the internet, his promos, and how his longevity too as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, he definitely is one of those guys that I think if they came over to the States more, that we treat them like we did the Revival, maybe even better if they were over here more. Dude, people had a bigger spotlight on them.
One of my biggest dream matches of all time, and I know I hate it because we'll never see it, but is the Gorillas of Destiny and the Usos. I would fucking love to see those two tag teams go, man. It'd have to be uncensored too. I need Tangaloa and
we need
a
Uso penitentiary match. Uso penitentiary match. Let's go.
There it is, man. There it is. Yeah, apparently he won it, and then I guess I saw also Marie. I caught her earlier. She says, it looks like after he won, Bullet Club jumped him, and then Bullet Club looks like they stood unified, all in the same ring. Yeah, but they destroyed him afterwards. You think we're gonna get him? We think we'll get at least Tama, if not both Gorillas of Destiny at that AEW New Japan show?
Hey, I mean, you kind of have to. I mean, right now, like besides Bullet Club, I mean, those are the two people that are more synonymous with NJP or whatever than than anybody else to me. Like, especially with like all their fucking Twitter beats of him talking shit to everybody on the internet. I think more people recognize him than probably most of their roster, honestly.
Yeah, not to mention the way they're angling it is supposed to be like the Undisputed Elite plus Bullet Club. It really seems like they're poising like they're going to merge and kind of run roughshod on the show. Like they'll be the big bad guy of the event.
Right.
So that would make sense for Tama Tonga and them and a lot of other people come in and fuck them up, you know.
I'm pretty hyped for that pay-per-view, for like legit.
I'm so hyped. I am so hyped for it. Lee, how you feeling about that pay-per-view, man?
So I'm excited about it, but I also have concerns. The only reason why I say that is because anytime you see stuff like this, usually a lot of the New Japan guys don't score a lot of the victories. It's more of the American company, you know, getting put over more than New Japan. You know, we've seen this with things like Collision in Korea. We've seen this with any other types of working relationships.
You're right, but on this one, I think they're doing one in Japan too. So I think that's when that's when New Japan will get their wins back.
Yeah, so like
Japan.
You know, I want to see like it. I guess be like an even playing field when it comes to like wins and losses, because I always hate seeing, you know, when American fans, you know, get this big New Japan star to come over to America and be part of the program with AEW, but then we watch that person fall short.
Right.
I want to see that person. I want to see that person win. You know, that's what I want. I want to see that person win. You give them a win. I don't care if it's like, you know, they do a couple of matches on Dynamite against this person or that person to like build up to a match on a pay-per-view or something. But I want to see the New Japan guys get some wins.
Same.
You know, really, you know, to me, this type of thing should be, you know, really helping New Japan get more over with the American crowd so that they can start coming back over here and doing their New Japan America like they got out in California or whatever, so we can get a TV deal and a better, if they have, there's something on Access I know of, but like catching Impact on Access is like extremely difficult for my region. So like it'd still be the same thing with New Japan. So it'd be really great to see them have a TV deal and be able to really showcase New Japan here in America.
Yeah.
That's what I want out of this pay-per-view.
I'm right there with you. In my mind, I could very well be wrong, but I don't think it's going to be a straight up like AEW versus New Japan show. I think it's going to play out more like, what was it, the Ring of Honor New Japan one they did at MSG? It's
that's everything I've heard is the exact opposite of that. That it's not.
Yeah, they're making it like New Japan versus AEW.
Yeah.
It really is going just head to head for the whole show.
Yeah, and then because what I've heard is that there's going to be head to head, and then they're going to have a show. They're having the show here, and then they're going to have a show in Japan as well. So they'll be able to kind of go back and forth and do the 50-50 thing where AEW probably gets over here, and then they'll get over. Over in Japan.
Well, then I agree with you, Lee. I want to see New Japan get some W's. Yeah, they have some people they can stack them on. You know,
right.
I mean, hell, if Joey Janela and Marco Stunt could stick around long enough, they could eat some L's because they're out the company apparently.
Right.
Yeah, it was
fuck them. I don't want them on no show like that.
No, I'm done with them too. I'm really done with them.
I was waiting for it.
No,
I just want to see Kenta versus CM Punk.
Right.
Yeah, dude, the Battle of the GTS.
Yeah, I mean, we know who really originated it, so let's see if he can do it better than the guy that stole it from him.
Dude, all of wrestling is stealing, though. Like, who?
Yeah, no, it is, and he's never not gave Kenta credit for the move. Like he's told that he blatantly stole it from him. Like, and he gives him honor to it and everything. So.
Bama says, "What if Blood and Guts is NJPW versus AEW? They'd have to structure that match better than they did. But yeah, by all means, a a War Games-esque match between the two, I would fucking well be down. And then not to mention the who was it? It was Inner Circle and who did the Inner Circle face off against in the Blood and Guts? I know it was MJF, the Pinnacle, right?
Yeah.
Damn, Pinnacle's been around longer than I thought. But it's not like they set the bar too high. You know, that match was far from perfect. It had some really fun spots, but then it had some the ending of like the crash pad spot at the end aside, the match itself was good at times and then pretty damn sloppy at times too as well. Like, didn't like Sammy or somebody fall in between the cage and the ring and get fucking stuck or something? I want to say I remember that happening. Yeah, they had some weird spots in that first match. So yeah, I think Blood and Guts deserves another shot for sure.
I want another Stadium Stampede match too.
Hell yes. That is such, dude, talk about, that's like one of the best things the pandemic ever produced was that fucking Stadium Stampede match. That was, god dang it, that was so good. Oh,
literally
man.
everything about that match was fire.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things going on in AEW. One thing though that will not be in AEW, or person for that matter, is Bret Hart. How disparaging is, if at all, is Bret Hart re-signing a Legends contract with WWE, which is preventing him from taking any part in the Owen Hart tournament? Do you guys see this as a blow to AEW, or is it really not that big a deal?
I think it's like 50-50. Go ahead, Lee. Go ahead.
I think I can update you on this one. It was a merchandise deal.
Okay, my apologies.
So he could I only heard about it today. That's the only reason why I know. I guess it's just a merchandise deal. He can still go and do other bookings and things like that.
So they're saying like all those initial reports were actually false.
Yeah, he did sign a contract, but it was just a merchandise deal, I guess.
Oh, that's fantastic. He needs to present the main event at least then, since he wasn't there for the Dax and Cash match.
Right.
Well, I mean, your biggest fall to it is going to be him with Martha, because they had a huge falling out over Owen's death. Bret seemed to still believe in the wrestling aspect of the business and had pushed for her to, I guess, like not sue Vince McMahon, to really push for Owen to go into the WWE Hall of Fame, which fans wanted, and always want. But I would say that, there's fans out there that are unhappy that AEW is doing it and not WWE. I'm with anyone else who has any sort of normal thought process that why would she allow WWE to do this when WWE is seemingly responsible for her husband's death?
Right. I that still blows my mind too, that's even a thing that we even need to speak about. Like, what the fuck do you mean? They clearly to this day still think, or maybe justified really, that they killed her husband. Why would she give them that satisfaction? Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
I try not to give any weight to the most extreme side of fucking Twitter, because it's like I said, yeah, like you nailed it. You hit the nail on the head, man. You erring with the side of like a logical, sane person. Those takes are just that. They're insane, man. I haven't heard a rational, well thought out reason that somebody's given why WWE should be the one honoring him or have any involvement outside of, it's usually backed up, oh, he was in WWE. And
Right.
To give any even more thought is it's too much energy towards those people anyways, towards that side of fucking Twitter, man. Yeah.
I mean, realistically, we should be happy no matter where this is happening, that we're getting it, that we're getting official Owen Hart licensed merchandise, as in t-shirts, action figures, will be in the AEW video game. How can you be mad about that just because it's a company that you don't like? I don't care where this is done. Like, I was happy when the PlayStation 2 Legends of the Ring games came out and Owen Hart was in them. I didn't care how bad the game was. I got to play as Owen Hart and it wasn't a damn create a character.
Right.
Exactly.
You know?
No,
so
yeah, anybody
I didn't care.
Like, hating on the tournament taking place in AEW is the same thing as hating on Owen Hart getting praise in 2022. It's on the same level, dude. Be fucking happy that
Right.
his
Shut the
legacy
fuck
and his
up.
name is being honored, and yeah, exactly. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, that's the best way to put it.
I mean, I will say this. Bret Hart did introduce the AEW championship to us. If Tony Khan can work his magic right, you got to get the bridge gapped between Martha and Bret in order to have Bret be any part of this.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so like I for one am still kind of baffled. Like, why is part of the tournament, as much as Teddy Hart is an issue in a lot of places, have him do a one-off, lose the match? Where's Davey Jr.? I would think this would be something Brian Pillman would be in an advance in the tournament type deal. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, that I will say the some of the participants and the qualifying matches have been kind of head scratchers. I think some people drew. It's Jeff Hardy, and who's his opponent for the qualifying match?
Bobby Fish.
I remember that being an example. Of one of the matches being criticized, which I don't have a bad word to say about it, and I actually do think it's neat that Jeff Hardy once wrestled Owen Hart back when Jeff Hardy was an enhancement talent, and now he's in the fucking tournament. Fantastic for him.
Wrestled 1995 one-on-one.
Yeah, dude, like that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty dope. But you're right, there are a couple head scratcher names missing from even just the qualifying matches.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that, in my eyes, I was kind of like, you have a tournament for a Hart. Why can't we bring some out and wrestle?
Yeah. Do you think they'll be able to mend the fence between Bret and Martha?
Nope.
I would 100% say no, which is why we wouldn't see Bret, because he's even done an interview stating that he has not been asked to be part of it.
Right.
You know, which, I mean, I would love to see him be part of it. I would, like I said, when we found out that TJ Wilson was having issues with WWE as a producer, and there was the night that he was actually out with an AEW producer, I had thought to myself, what if he's the one who's the guy who jumps AEW's Forbidden Door and shows up? Because he has trained, he has expressed he would like to wrestle again. He's doing phenomenal work as a producer in WWE, and we know that. But how awesome would it have been for him to jump through the Forbidden Door and see him in the Owen Hart Cup tournament? Or, you know, Davey Boy Smith Jr. wrestled a dark match, I believe, on like SmackDown, or had a match on Main Event. And then WWE quickly released him for a second time. Why can't we see him in this tournament?
Yeah, that part did. I never understood that either. So what the hell did you even sign him for to release him that soon? Like, he never even got a chance.
Yeah, no, he didn't get a chance at all. He was, and it was a shame. That was a real shame that he got used like that. But I would love to see other Hart member families involved. I don't think we're gonna get it.
Oh. No, and I mean, logically, if Martha, you know, because it would be so, if obviously Martha's the one who signed off on this.
Right. That's why I know we're not
Tony had that conversation with her. And obviously, if she was like, look, I'm not comfortable with Bret, let's keep him out of this. Tony's not going to fucking, you know, Tony's not going to contact Bret because at that point, the guidelines are set, dude. You know what's going to be crazy is down the road, the documentary we're going to get that's going to highlight, the behind the scenes of the Owen Hart tournament. RN, you know who's going to be in that documentary?
Oh,
fucking Natalya. Because she's in every goddamn documentary known to man, dude.
That A&E Randy Savage when they had her in there because she swam in his pool one time when she was 5 years old. That was when I knew I would never stop hating Natty.
She'll find her way into every documentary. Bama actually went on and said that Natty should come over and win the women's tournament. Yeah, okay, Bama. Bama's out here trying to rally you up, RN. Listen, man. I think that's it, man. That's all the material. My whiteboard is cleaned, son. I have it wiped completely off. Man, it's been a pretty decent show. It was fun. Lee, you have a good time, bud?
I always have a good time when I get to sit down with like-minded individuals and get to talk about big, sweaty men who get to touch each other in the middle of a squared circle. Thank you. Can you do that again, please? Woo! No, I had a great time, man.
Also, I love getting together with other bearded, sweaty men, talking about other bearded, sweaty men, oiled up and wrestling around on the ground.
That seems to be what we do, man. Whenever anyone asks, like that's non-wrestling fans, like, why do you like wrestling and why do you podcast about it? I'm just gonna show them that highlight right there.
Absolutely.
That's why. That's it right there, man. In a nutshell, that's what we do.
Big meaty men slapping meat.
Bro, listen, y'all. Listen, thank you guys for watching the fucking show, man. Support us on patreon.com/SmackDropPodcast. Send a one-time donation to paypal.me/SmackDropPod. You guys are fantastic. You can follow me on Twitter at The Kai Tai Show. The show is at SmackDropPod. RN, what's your Twitter handle? I never get it right.
Mr. 8984. Check us out. Me and Jelly Bean Productions on YouTube. We just dropped a new video. Sometimes I think too much. We recorded it at my best friend, one of my other best friends' diaper party we had for him. We're all dressed up like dads and shit. Like it's fucking hilarious. Check it out.
Lee, we got to send you. RN, you've come out with banger after banger since then. But I gotta send Lee what introduced me to you and Adam's rap videos, and that's in that Sandwiches and HJs. Lee, I'm gonna send you this music video, bro. You're not gonna believe that this is my esteemed co-host in these rap videos. Did you know he's a rapper on the side and does music videos?
No, I had no idea.
Yo, just a little bit.
Dude, we're about to blow your fucking mind, dude. We got like over a decade of music videos that are
literally. I didn't even realize it's been that long, but yeah, it's damn near a decade.
Yeah, man.
I mean, with that show opener you guys have, I was gonna be like, "Yo, who is your editor?" Because that is damn.
Oh, thank you, man. That's Alison. That's one of the big gets that we got recently. She came along with Will for Bot Spots and Chair Shots. She does all our work behind the scenes, man. She is fantastic. She's also the one. Yeah, she's the one who organized the our fantasy draft that we got going on. That RN is
the
just
brakes off of y'all,
murdering everybody. In this fantasy draft that we got going on, we're definitely after this season we're gonna do it again, and we're gonna open it up to more people, for sure. Lee, we let you plug your stuff in the beginning of the show. Go ahead and plug it one more time, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find me anywhere and everywhere podcasts are found, from Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, Podbay, and Red Circle. It's Perched on the Top Rope. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/Perched on the Top Rope. We post little snippets here and there, but it's a lot of wrestling interviews that we have on our podcast. So if you want to watch me with a lot of these stars, by all means, youtube.com/Perched on the Top Rope. We are on TikTok. We do recreate the Selena scenes with the greatest moments in professional wrestling history, including the recent one of WrestleMania 32, Zack Ryder winning the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, that is a great moment in professional wrestling history. You will not tell me otherwise. But if that's not your forte, and you like watching dogs hump things like the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan.
Fucking knew it.
Yes. You can watch Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan from WCW get humped by a dog on my TikTok. It's Perched on the Top Rope. You can find us on Facebook at Perched on the Top Rope. We are on Twitter at Perched Top Rope because Perched on the Top Rope is apparently too long. Twitter, we need to discuss this. And my blue check. You can also find us on Instagram at Perched on the Top Post, Perched on the Top Rope Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, as I always say, remember, spoiler free is the way to be. Thank you, Kyle.
Hey, anytime, man. Anytime. You guys, thank you once again for joining us. Enjoy Jayland's Sunday Night Heat beat of the week. We're out of here, you guys. RN, anything? Not going to say fucking shit? All right, fine. Just leave me hanging.
You guys next week. Sorry.
Jesus Christ, man. Hold on. Oh, shit. At least I remembered it. Here it is.